So my top 5 strengths are achiever, competition, focus, communication, and discipline. I use my strengths in many aspects of my personal life. It can be something as small or simple as just getting errands done or tasks done around the house. I have focus and discipline, so I'm able to really hone in on what I need to do and not get distracted easily. I also use my strengths in grad school, when I was in grad school, as well as undergrad. So I took my strengths my junior year, but I didn't really learn how to apply them until I got into grad school. And if it wasn't for my strengths, I probably would have had a more challenging time within grad school. But my achiever, my competition, my communication, my focus, and my discipline, I was able to hone in and really use those strengths in order to get me through homework, reading assignments, group projects, so on and so forth. So I use my strengths in my professional life a lot also. I would probably say I use my strengths more in my professional life than my personal life right now. We're currently in an advising season, and so I have to meet with over 200 students in a 2-month period, and so my competition is what gets me through this. I'm secretly in competition with all the other advisors in the program. Don't tell them. But I'm trying to get all my students advised in a 1-month period. And so my achiever also comes into play because I'm always striving to complete tasks, and then my focus and discipline again comes into play because I'm able to see my students, make sure everything is getting done without having any distractions. So I also use strengths with my students, and some of the benefits of utilizing strengths with my students is that we're able to hone in and pinpoint what their strengths are and how they can apply their strengths to their classes that they're currently enrolled in, and also to the classes they may be enrolling in for the next semester. They also can use their strengths to help them perform better, not only in their academics but also in other areas of their lives, such as clubs, organizations, as well as their personal life. So I really like to touch upon strengths when we do have an advising meetings, just so students can not only be aware but also see what strengths they are using and what strengths they can use in the future. So some of the constraints with utilizing strengths with my students is that a lot of the students don't automatically realize how they can apply their strengths after college. And so one of the things you always get is when you're in college, like, well, how is this going to help me in the real world? And so I always like to tell my students, I was one of those students. I took strength my junior year in college, and at that point in time, I really didn't realize how much this was going to play out in my career. And so I always tell my students this story that when I actually interviewed to be an advisor, one of the questions in my interview was, what are your top 5 strengths? And when I tell them that, they kind of look surprised because they're like, oh wow, this is really something that can be used outside of school and outside in the real world. So I would say it is a little bit challenging of getting students on the bandwagon in regards to really taking their strengths seriously. So it does take some time, and I think one of the things is having to have that repetition, so constantly bringing up strengths so that they see it not only in the advising session, but other places on campus and outside of campus. So I would say one of the constraints is just getting them on the bandwagon.